The call came at 8:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, just as I was finalising the paperwork for my dream condo. Mum's ringtone shattered my concentration, and that familiar knot formed in my stomach. I should have let it go to voicemail. I'm Maeve, and that call changed everything. "Baby, we need you," Mum's voice cracked through tears. "The house, there's water everywhere, the roof just... and your father can't... Please, sweetheart." I pressed my fingers against my temples. "Mum, slow down. What happened? The whole structure is compromised. If we don't fix it now, we could lose everything. The contractor says it's critical." Her sobs grew louder. "We need $89,000 by tomorrow morning, or they'll have to condemn the house." My heart stopped. That number wasn't random. It was exactly what I'd saved for my down payment, down to the last dollar. How did she know? "Mum, that's all my savings. Your sister can't help. You know she's still building her career." Mum's voice hardened slightly. "You're the responsible one, Maeve. You're the only one who can save this family." I glanced at the condo contract on my laptop screen. 2 years of overtime, brown bag lunches, and saying no to every vacation. All for my own place, finally. "Can't you get a loan?" I asked, already knowing the answer. "The bank refused us. Please, baby, we raised you in this house. All your childhood memories." My phone buzzed with a text from Zariah. Mum's crying her eyes out. "Don't be selfish." I closed my eyes, remembering the Christmas mornings, birthday parties, family dinners. Even the spot where Dad taught me to ride a bike was marked by a small dent in the wall. "The contractor needs an answer now," Mum pressed. He's here with us." I heard a male voice in the background saying something about structural integrity. "Okay," I whispered, hating myself already. "I'll transfer the money, but Mum, I need documentation for everything. This is my entire savings." "Of course, darling. You're saving us. I'll have everything sent to you tomorrow." Her voice brightened instantly. "I'm texting you the account details now." After the transfer, I sat staring at my decimated bank balance. My phone pinged with a string of heart emojis from Mum, followed by a brief "THX sis" from Zariah. The next morning, I drove past my parents' house on my way to work. No contractors, no emergency vehicles, no visible damage. Just Dad's car in the driveway and Mum's prized roses swaying in the spring breeze. Probably working on the inside, I told myself, squashing down the doubt. At the office, my co-worker Chandler noticed my distraction. "You okay? You look like you've seen a ghost." "Just family stuff," I said, trying to smile. "Had to help with some emergency repairs." "That's rough. How much did they need?" "Everything I had." His eyebrows shot up, but before he could respond, my phone buzzed. A DM from Summer, Zariah's best friend. "OMG, girl, your sister is living her best life. So jealous." Attached was a link to Zariah's latest Instagram post. My finger hovered over it, that knot in my stomach turning to ice. One click, and there she was. My baby sister, lounging on a yacht in Capri. Designer sunglasses, champagne in hand, Italian coastline sparkling behind her. The caption read, "Blessed Saga family, investor, trip, thanks to those who believe in dreams." The post was time-stamped 3 hours ago. The same sister who couldn't help with the emergency house repairs was somehow living it up in Italy. The same sister who texted me about Mum crying was now sipping champagne in the Mediterranean. My hand started shaking as I scrolled through her feed. There it was, a first-class ticket to Rome, posted yesterday, the day before I made the transfer. The office suddenly felt too small, too hot. Chandler's voice seemed far away. "Maeve? You've gone white as a sheet." My phone buzzed again, Mom calling, probably to check if I'd seen the post, to spin some new story, to guilt me into silence. This time, I let it go to voicemail. Because now I knew. There was no water damage, no contractor, no emergency, just a carefully orchestrated plan to fund my sister's European adventure with my life savings. And as I sat there, watching the likes pile up on Zariah's post, something inside me changed. The good daughter, the responsible one, the family saviour. She died in that moment. In her place rose someone else. Someone who was done being the family ATM. Someone who was ready for war. I spent the next 3 hours scrolling through Zariah's Instagram feed, each post hitting me like a physical blow. Paris, Dubai, designer shopping sprees, all perfectly timed after my emergency transfer. Look at this, I thrust my phone at Chandler. Private jet to Dubai, posted 6 hours after I gave them the money. First class lounge in Paris the next day. Gucci shopping spree in Milan. He whistled low. That's not just a vacation, that's a luxury world tour. $89,000. My voice cracked. My entire future. Call them, Chandler said firmly, also right now. Speaker, phone. I dialed Mum's number, hands trembling with rage. She answered on the first ring. Darling, I was just thinking about you. Cut the act, Mum. I saw Zariah's Instagram. A pause. Then, in that practiced, concerned mother voice. Oh, sweetie, don't be dramatic. Everything's under control. Under control? I nearly screamed. You told me the house was falling apart. You said you needed emergency repairs. Well, yes, but we had to make some investment decisions. Investment decisions? You mean funding Zariah's influencer fantasy? Another pause. Your sister has a vision for her future. Sometimes opportunities require quick action. You stole my savings. Borrowed, darling. We borrowed. Family helps family. I looked at Chandler, who was frantically typing on his phone. He turned his screen toward me. He'd pulled up my text history with Mum, highlighting her messages about the emergency repairs and contractor requirements. Put Dad on the phone, I demanded. He's not available right now. Because he's covering for you? Or because he's too ashamed to face what you've done? Maeve Hopkins, Mum's voice turned sharp. I will not be spoken to this way by my own daughter. When you've calmed down... I hung up. My phone immediately lit up with texts from Zariah. OMG, stop being so extra. Are just jealous? Are stuck in that boring office job? Mum and Dad believe in my dreams unlike you. I blocked her number. We need to go to your bank, Chandler said, grabbing his car keys. Now. At the bank, a sympathetic manager named Tracy pulled up my transaction history. The transfer was marked as a gift, she said, showing me the screen. Not a loan. There's no repayment structure in place. They knew exactly what they were doing, Chandler muttered. But there must be something, I pleaded. They lied about the reason. They claimed it was for emergency repairs. Tracy leaned forward. Do you have any documentation of their claims? Text messages? Emails? Everything, I said, pulling out my phone. Every lie about the contractor, the structural damage, the urgency. Miss Hopkins, Tracy said carefully, what you're describing could constitute fraud by false pretense, especially with documented evidence of the funds being used for unauthorized purposes. My phone buzzed. A text from Summer. Hey girl, Z says you're being weird about her trips, but didn't you know about the family investment plan? She's been planning this influencer tour for months. Months. They'd been planning this for months. I showed the message to Chandler, who was already pulling up something on his phone. Look at this, he said, pointing to a clause in my text conversation with Mom. The contractor requires immediate payment for emergency structural repairs to prevent house condemnation. That's not just a lie, he said. That's textbook fraud. They created a false emergency to obtain money under false pretenses. I can refer you to some legal specialists, Tracy offered, sliding over a business card. This kind of case, it happens more often than you'd think. I stared at the card, thinking of all the family photos on our walls, the Sunday dinners, the birthday celebrations, all those memories now tainted by this betrayal. My phone lit up again. Dad this time. His first message in hours. Your mother is very upset. You need to apologize. That was the final straw. Chandler, I said, my voice steady for the first time all day. Remember Jolie from college? The one who became a lawyer? He nodded slowly, a smile spreading across his face. The one who specializes in financial fraud cases. Call her. Tell her it's urgent. I stood up, gathering my documentation. Tell her I'm ready to sue my entire family. Tracy touched my arm gently. Are you sure? Family lawsuits can get ugly. I looked at Zariah's latest Instagram story, a video of her toasting with champagne in a private jet. Mum's voice audible in the background laughing about family investments. They stopped being family, I said, the moment they decided to steal my future. Chandler was already dialing Jolie's number. Hey, it's Chandler. Remember Maeve? She needs your help. And trust me, you're going to want to hear this story. Let me get this straight, Jolie said, spreading documents across her desk. They claimed emergency house repairs, but the money funded your sister's influencer tour instead. Every penny, I confirmed. She tapped her pen against a stack of printed Instagram posts. And they didn't think you'd notice your sister broadcasting the evidence to thousands of followers. They never thought I'd fight back. Jolie's office became our war room. Chandler brought in his laptop, creating a timeline that cross-referenced every transaction with Zariah's social media posts. Look at this, he said, pointing to his screen. $12,000 withdrawal the day before the emergency call. Same day, Zariah booked her first-class tickets. And here, Jolie added, your mother's text claiming the contractor needed immediate payment. But the bank records show they'd already transferred money to a luxury travel agency. My phone buzzed, a message from my cousin Norman. You need to see this. Don't tell anyone I showed you. The screenshot he sent made my blood run cold. It was a family group chat I wasn't part of, titled Family Investors. Mum. Got Maeve to transfer everything, told her the roof was falling in. Zariah. OMG, Mum, you're literally the best. Can't wait for Dubai. Mum. Just had to push the right buttons. She always falls for the crying act. Zariah. Sis is too soft. She'll never get it. Too busy being responsible. This is perfect, Jolie said, saving the screenshot. Direct evidence of premeditation and intent to deceive. There's more, Chandler called out. Summers, I should have been geotagging every location. The timeline matches perfectly with your parents' bank withdrawals. Jolie started typing rapidly. We're filing for fraudulent misrepresentation, damages, and asset reclamation. They used emotional manipulation to obtain funds under false pretenses, then misappropriated those funds for unauthorized purposes. In English? I asked. They scammed you, we can prove it, and we're going to take everything back. My phone rang. Mum again. I put it on speaker. Maeve, this has gone far enough, she said, her voice sickly sweet. We're family. Families share resources. Families don't lie and steal, I replied. Nobody stole anything. We're investing in your sister's future. Her social media presence could make us all rich. Jolie motioned for me to keep her talking. So there was never any roof damage? I asked. Well, no, but... And no contractor. We had to be creative. You mean you had to lie? Don't twist my words, Mom snapped. Everything we did was for this family's benefit. Your sister has a real chance at becoming an influencer. Do you know how much money she could make? Do you know how much money you stole? Borrowed. Mum's voice rose. And honestly, Maeve, you're being selfish. You always were the difficult one, the party pooper, the one who never supported your sister's dreams. Jolie was frantically taking notes, mouthing, "Keep going." "So the family chat was right?" I asked. "I'm just too soft? Too easy to manipulate?" Dead silence. How do you know about that chat?" "Doesn't matter. What matters is I have proof of everything, the planning, the lies, the real reason you needed my money." "You're making a huge mistake," Mom hissed. "If you do this, you'll regret it." "No, Mom. The only thing I regret is trusting you." I hung up. Within minutes, my phone exploded with messages from family members. "How could you do this to your own mother? You're tearing this family apart. Just let Zariah have her chance." Jolie finished typing and turned her screen toward me. "Preliminary papers are ready. We'll file first thing tomorrow. Once approved, we can freeze their assets and start recovery proceedings." "They'll fight back," I warned. "Let them," she smiled. "We have documented evidence, witness statements, and their own admissions. They never expected you to stand up to them, so they got sloppy." "What's our next move?" Chandler asked. "We hit them where it hurts," Jolie said, reaching for her printer. "Starting with that BMW Zariah bought with Maeve's money." My phone buzzed one last time. Another message from Norman. "They're planning to move money around tonight. Mom's talking about offshore accounts. Better move fast." I looked at Jolie. "How fast can we file?" She was already reaching for her coat. "The judge owes me a favour. Give me an hour." As we left her office, I caught a glimpse of Zariah's latest Instagram story. "Haters gonna hate, can't dim my shine. Soon, little sister. Very soon." The bailiff's heavy knock echoed through my childhood home at exactly 9 a.m. I stood behind him, court papers clutched in my hand, heart pounding but spine straight. Mom opened the door in her designer robe, coffee cup in hand. Her smile froze when she saw me. "What is this?" "Asset freeze and recovery order," the bailiff stated, handing her the documents. "We're here to inventory and tag all items purchased with the disputed funds." Mum's coffee cup clattered to the floor. "Maeve, what have you done?" "Exactly what you taught me, Mum. Being creative." Dad appeared in the hallway, face ashen. "Denise, what's happening?" "Your daughter," Mum spat, "is attacking her own family." The bailiff stepped past them, nodding to his assistant. "We'll start with the vehicles. The BMW 7 Series is specifically listed in the court order." "You can't take my car!" Zariah's voice shrieked from the top of the stairs. She was wearing silk pajamas that probably cost more than a month's rent. "Daddy, do something!" Dad just stood there looking lost. "Princess, Let them document everything," I said coldly. "The car, the designer clothes, the first-class tickets, every single thing you bought with my money." "I'm having a mental breakdown," Mum announced dramatically, pressing her hand to her forehead. "My own daughter is trying to destroy us. We need to call Dr. Patterson." "Save the performance," I cut in. "The judge has already seen the evidence." "Including your little group chat about manipulating me." Zariah stomped down the stairs. "It was just a joke. God, you're so pathetic. Can't stand seeing me succeed, can you?" "Succeed?" I laughed. "You mean stealing my savings to play celebrity on Instagram?" "Mum," the bailiff interrupted, "we need the BMW keys." "This is ridiculous," Mom snapped. "Douglas, call our lawyer." "Your lawyer can contact Ms. Fletcher," I said, using Jolie's formal name. "She has all the documentation." The bailiff's assistant emerged from the garage, found the vehicle, also located several designer purchases with tags still attached, all matching the dates specified in the court order. Zariah burst into tears. "Those are mine. You can't just take them." "Actually, they're mine," I corrected. "Bought with my money, under false pretenses, which makes this theft by deception." "You're tearing this family apart," Dad finally exploded. "Is this what you want?" I met his eyes steadily. "You did that the moment you chose to steal from me." The bailiff was methodically photographing items. The BMW shopping bags full of designer clothes, new electronics. Each item got a numbered tag. "This is just temporary," Mum said, but her voice wavered. "Once we explained to the judge—" "Explain what?" I interrupted. "How you faked a house emergency? How you planned this for months? How you laughed about manipulating me in your group chat?" Zariah lunged for her car keys, but the bailiff blocked her path. "Mom, interfering with a court order is a criminal offence." "Criminal?" Mom went pale. No, this is a family matter." "Not anymore," I said quietly. "You made it legal when you committed fraud." The bailiff's assistant appeared with a stack of receipts found in Zariah's room. These match the transaction records provided to the court. Luxury purchases made within hours of receiving the transferred funds. Mom tried one last time. "Sweetheart, please. We can work this out privately, as a family." "Family?" I gestured around the room. "Look what you did to our family. All for what? Instagram likes? Designer bags? Was it worth it?" Zariah slumped against the wall, mascara running. "You've ruined everything." "No," I replied. "You did that yourself. Every posted photo, every bragging caption, every lie." The bailiff finished his inventory. "All documented items are now under court order. Nothing is to be sold, transferred, or removed from the premises until further notice." As we turned to leave, Dad grabbed my arm. "You'll regret this. Family is forever." I pulled away. "No, Dad, family is a choice, and you all made yours." Walking down the driveway, I heard Mom's wails and Zariah's sobs. The sound should have hurt, should have made me feel guilty. Instead, I felt lighter with each step. Then my phone buzzed. A message from Jolie. "Found something interesting. Your mum moved 20Ks into an offshore account yesterday, under Chandler's name. She's playing dirtier than we thought." I looked back at the house one last time. Through the window, I could see Mom already on the phone, probably calling in favours, trying to spin this her way. She didn't realise yet. This was just the beginning. The bailiff nodded as he got into his car. "Good luck, miss. Family cases are never easy." "No," I agreed, watching Zariah's precious BMW being tagged for repossession. "But neither is stealing from your daughter." I got into my car, ignoring the stream of texts lighting up my phone. They thought they could manipulate me forever, use me as their personal bank. Time to show them just how wrong they were. "Found it," Chandler announced, spreading printouts across my kitchen table. "Your parents started planning this back in January. Look at these Google Calendar entries." I leaned in to read. "Z's influencer launch. Budget meeting, dated 3 months before they asked for my money." "There's more," he continued. "Fake contractor letterhead, forged inspection reports, even staged photos of water damage they never used." My hand shook as I sifted through the evidence. "How did you get all this?" Norman helped. "He's been backing up their shared drive for years. When he saw what they did to you..." Chandler shrugged. "Let's just say he had a crisis of conscience." A memory hit me suddenly. My 10th birthday. "Wait here," I told Chandler, rushing to my closet. I returned with an old shoebox full of birthday cards. "Look at this," I said, pulling out a card from Grandma Rose. "She always sent me $100 for my birthday, but every year the money disappeared before I could spend it." Chandler frowned. "You think—" "Mum always said I must have lost it, but now—" I pulled up my phone, scrolling through old family photos. "Here, every summer after my birthday, Zariah mysteriously had money for dance camp." My phone buzzed. A video call from Jolie. "You need to see this," she said without preamble. "We subpoenaed their bank records. Your mum's been running this game for years. She shared her screen, showing transaction after transaction. She'd guilt you into lending money, then funnel it to Zariah. College textbooks that never existed. Car repairs that never happened. Even that emergency dental work last year. Let me guess. Zariah's lip fillers? Bingo. A knock at my door made us all jump. Through the peephole, I saw Mum standing there, tears streaming down her face. Don't answer it, Chandler warned. Please, Maeve, Mum called through the door. I just want to talk. I hit record on my phone before opening the door. How dare you, Mum hissed, mask dropping instantly. You want to destroy your own family over money? You mean my life savings that you stole? We had a plan. She stepped closer, jabbing her finger at me. Zariah's going to be famous. She'll make connections, open doors for all of us. But you're too selfish to see the big picture. The big picture? I laughed bitterly. Like when you stole my birthday money for her dance camps. Mum froze. You remember that? I remember everything, Mum. Every lie, every manipulation, every time you picked her over me. She's special. Mum's voice rose hysterically. She has star quality. You're just what? The responsible one, the backup plan, the family ATM? You'll regret this, she snarled. When Zariah's famous, when we're all living the high life, you'll be sorry you turned against us. Mum, Chandler called from behind me, you're being recorded. Mum's eyes widened as she noticed my phone. Without another word, she turned and fled. You okay? Chandler asked softly. I nodded, though my hands were shaking. Send that recording to Jolie. My phone lit up with a message from Norman. Found something else. Old videos from family meetings. They were coaching Zariah on how to manipulate you, teaching her your weak spots. The attached video showed Mom, Dad, and Zariah sitting at our dining room table. Remember, Mum was saying, Maeve can't resist when we cry. She hates disappointing family. Use that. Zariah nodded, practicing her fake tears. Like this? Perfect. Now, mention how hard you're working on your dreams. I couldn't watch anymore. Maeve, Jolie's voice came through the speaker. We have enough, more than enough. Want me to schedule the final hearing? Do it. They'll try to paint you as the villain, Chandler warned. The jealous sister trying to ruin Zariah's chances at fame. Let them try. I looked at the mountain of evidence on my table. Years of calculated manipulation. Decades of lies. The truth has receipts. My phone buzzed again. Dad, this time. Your mother's crying herself sick. Is this what you wanted? To destroy our family? I thought of all the times I cried myself to sleep, believing I'd lost birthday money, believing I wasn't as special as Zariah, believing I had to prove my love through sacrifice. No, Dad, I typed back. I wanted a family that loved me as much as I loved them. Guess we both ended up disappointed. I blocked his number and turned to Chandler and Jolie's concerned faces on my screen. Schedule the hearing, I said firmly. It's time everyone saw who they really are. The courtroom fell silent as Jolie approached the witness stand where Mum sat, perfectly coiffed and dabbing at invisible tears. Mrs. Hopkins, Jolie began, please explain the emergency roof repairs you claimed required $89,000. Our contractor said, What contractor? Jolie interrupted. Because we've subpoenaed every licensed contractor in the area. None had any contact with your family. Mum's fingers tightened around her tissue. Well, he was independent. Independent? Jolie picked up a document. Like this fake inspection report you created? The one with a forged license number? Colour drained from Mum's face. Or perhaps, Jolie continued, you'd like to explain these travel bookings? Made the day before you called my client about your emergency? We had to act quickly, Mum stammered. Opportunities like your daughter's influencer tour? First-class flights, luxury hotels, designer shopping sprees, all paid for with fraudulently obtained funds. Objection, their lawyer called out. Argumentative. Sustained, the judge said. Rephrase. Jolie nodded. Mrs. Hopkins, did you use the money for house repairs as claimed? We had other priorities. Like funding your younger daughter's Instagram career? Zariah has potential, Mum burst out. Sometimes parents have to make hard choices. Choices like stealing from their other daughter? Objection. Withdrawn, Jolie said smoothly. No further questions. Dad testified next, crumbling under cross-examination. Did you know the roof repairs were fictional? Jolie asked. I trusted my wife's judgment. Even when that judgment involved defrauding your daughter? He looked at his hands. Denise handles the finances, so you just stood by while she stole your daughter's life savings? Dad's voice cracked. I didn't know how much... The truth, Mr. Hopkins. Did you know there was no emergency? A long pause. Yes. And did you know the money was for Zariah's travel? Another pause. Yes. Why didn't you stop it? He looked at Mom, then back at his hands. Because Denise said it was the only way. That Maeve would never just give us the money for Zariah's influencer career, the courtroom murmured. Mum shot him a venomous look. Then came Zariah's testimony. Like, I don't see what the big deal is, she said, examining her manicure. Family is supposed to support each other. Support? Jolie raised an eyebrow. Like this group chat where you mocked your sister for being too soft, where you planned how to manipulate her. That was just jokes. Jokes that cost your sister 89,000 toddlers? Zariah's carefully constructed facade cracked. She's just jealous. She always has been. Everyone knows I'm the one with real potential. She's just what? Just boring, working her stupid office job, saving her stupid money. I'm going to be famous. Zariah was shouting now. Mum and Dad saw that. They knew who to bet on. The judge leaned forward. Miss Hopkins, are you admitting you knowingly participated in defrauding your sister? Zariah's eyes widened as she realized what she said. That's not... And these receipts, Jolie continued, where you forged income documents to obtain additional credit lines using the fraudulently obtained funds. Objection! Their lawyer jumped up. This ventures into criminal territory. Exactly, Jolie smiled. Your Honour, we've submitted evidence of multiple instances of fraud, including document forgery and false financial statements. Summer's testimony was the final nail. Oh my God, they totally planned it for months, she gushed. Mrs. H was like bragging about it at the spa. How they were going to use Maeve's savings to launch Zariah's influencer career. She said Maeve was their personal piggy bank. The judge had heard enough. Given the overwhelming evidence of fraud and financial misconduct, I'm issuing an immediate freeze on all family accounts and assets pending final judgment. Additionally, I'm referring this case to the District Attorney's Office for potential criminal charges. Mum collapsed in theatrical sobs. Dad stared blankly ahead. Zariah stormed out, already typing furiously on her phone. Furthermore, the judge continued, I'm placing temporary liens on all property purchased with the fraudulently obtained funds, including vehicles, jewellery, and designer goods. I felt Chandler squeeze my hand as Mum wailed, You're destroying our family. No, Mrs. Hopkins, the judge said sternly. You did that yourself. Court is adjourned until tomorrow's final judgment. Outside the courtroom, reporters had gathered. Someone had tipped them off about the fraudulent family case. Maeve, Jolie said quietly, tomorrow we'll get the final verdict. Are you ready? I watched Mum being comforted by her friends, Dad standing alone by the window, and Zariah crying to her Instagram followers about family betrayal. Ready? I smiled grimly. I've been ready my whole life. In the matter of Hopkins versus Hopkins, the judge began, this court finds in favour of the plaintiff. The courtroom erupted in whispers. Mum gripped Dad's arm so hard her knuckles went white. The defendants are ordered to repay the full amount of $89,000, plus $50,000 in punitive damages. Additionally, given the evidence of long-term financial abuse and manipulation, I am ordering an additional $25,000 for emotional distress. Zariah's designer purse hit the floor with a thud. Furthermore, the judge continued, all assets purchased with the fraudulently obtained funds are to be liquidated immediately, with proceeds going to the plaintiff. This includes, but is not limited to, the BMW 7 Series, all designer merchandise, and any remaining travel bookings. But my followers, Zariah wailed, my brand. Silence, the judge warned. Miss Hopkins, your social media career does not supersede laws against fraud. Mum stood up, swaying dramatically. Your Honour, please, we're her parents. We only wanted... Mrs. Hopkins, the judge cut in, you systematically defrauded your own daughter. The evidence shows years of financial manipulation and emotional abuse. This court cannot ignore such calculated misconduct. Jolie was already typing on her tablet, initiating asset recovery procedures. Chandler squeezed my shoulder supportively. The criminal investigation will proceed separately, the judge added. I suggest you will retain criminal defense attorneys. The local news reporter in the back scribbled frantically. Tomorrow's headline practically wrote itself, Social media dreams shatter as family fraud scheme exposed. Outside the courthouse, Mum made one last attempt. She grabbed my arm as I walked past, tears streaming down her expertly made-up face. Please, she begged, we're still your family. We can fix this. I pulled away. Fix what, Mum? The years of stealing my birthday money? The manipulation? The lies? We did it because we love you. No, I said quietly. You did it because you thought I'd never fight back. Your sister's influencer career is ruined, she hissed. Are you happy now? Actually, yes, I smiled coldly. Almost as happy as you were when you stole my savings. Zariah stormed up, mascara running. I had to delete all my social media. My followers think I'm a fraud. You are a fraud, I replied. You just got caught. This isn't fair, she screamed. Those things were mine. They were bought with my money, I corrected, and now they're being sold to pay me back. Dad approached last, looking older than I'd ever seen him. Princess, he started, don't. I held up my hand. You stood by and watched them steal from me. You're just as guilty. We're your parents, he pleaded. Family means forgiveness. Family means love, I countered. Real love, not manipulation. Not theft, not lies. Reporters swarmed around us, shoving microphones forward. Mrs. Hopkins, how do you respond to allegations of long-term financial abuse? Zariah, what happens to your influencer career now? Maeve, how does it feel to expose your family's fraud? Jolie stepped in, shielding me. My client has no comment. The court's decision speaks for itself. As we walked away, I heard Mum's voice rise hysterically. She's destroying us! Her own family! I turned back one last time. You stopped being my family when you sold me out for Prada. Chandler was waiting by his car. Ready to go sign those condo papers? I nodded, feeling lighter than I had in years. My phone buzzed with a text from Norman. You did it. They needed this wake-up call. I'm sorry I didn't speak up sooner. The local news van pulled away, no doubt racing to broadcast the story of the Instagram-obsessed family who committed fraud for followers. Mum's social circle would implode. Zariah's influencer dreams were dead. Dad's business associates would distance themselves, but I felt no satisfaction in their downfall, only relief that the truth was finally out. Jolie caught up with us, waving a document. Just got confirmation. The first asset liquidation payment will hit your account tomorrow. Ready to buy that condo? More than ready. My phone lit up with messages from Mum's friends. How could you do this to your own mother? Family matters should stay private. You've ruined their reputation. I blocked them all, one by one. You okay? Chandler asked softly. I looked at the courthouse steps where my family still stood, their carefully constructed facade finally crumbling. Yeah, I said. For the first time in my life, I really am. We drove away, leaving behind the wreckage of lies, the ruins of manipulation, and the ashes of what once was family. Tomorrow, I'd sign the papers for my dream condo. Tonight, I'd sleep knowing I'd finally stood up for myself. And that was worth more than all the Instagram followers in the world. The sound of my keys jingling in my new condo's lock still brought a smile to my face. Inside, the space was modest, but mine. Every piece of furniture carefully chosen, every wall painted the exact shade I wanted. My phone buzzed with a news alert. Local influencer scandal. Sister's revenge exposes family fraud. Below was a picture of Zariah, caught mid-meltdown outside the courthouse. A knock at the door made me jump. Through the peephole, I saw Norman shifting nervously. Hey, he said when I opened the door. Nice place. Thanks. Want to come in? He followed me to the kitchen where I was unpacking dishes. Aunt Denise and Uncle Douglas are selling their house, he said quietly. The criminal charges. I heard. The DA had filed multiple fraud charges. Mum's perfect reputation was in shambles. Zariah's working at a call centre now, Norman continued. No one will sponsor her after everything. I placed a mug in the cabinet. That's not my problem. I know, He pulled out an envelope. I wanted to give you this, and apologise for not speaking up sooner. Inside was a birthday card. Tucked within, 5 crisp 100 bills. From all those birthday, he explained. I saw Aunt Denise take your money every year. I should have said something. Norman. No, let me finish. What they did to you, it wasn't just about the money. They tried to make you feel crazy for questioning them. Less than. I watched it happen and said nothing. I leaned against the counter. You helped in the end. That group chat screenshot broke their whole story. Still, he looked around my new home. You deserved better. We all knew it. My phone buzzed again. Chandler. Turn on channel 7. I grabbed the remote, Norman following me to the living room. There on screen was Mom, being led out of her yoga studio in handcuffs. Additional charges filed today, the reporter announced, as investigators uncovered a pattern of financial fraud extending beyond the family. Norman whistled low. Guess she wasn't just stealing from you. Guess not. Another knock. This time Jolie and Chandler, carrying takeout and wine. Housewarming? Chandler grinned, holding up the bags. We brought the good stuff, Jolie added, waving the wine bottle. You deserve it. As they set up dinner on my new coffee table, my phone lit up with a text from Dad. Your mother's been arrested. Please, we need help with bail. I showed it to the others. Delete it, Jolie advised. Block him, Chandler suggested. Instead, I typed, like Zariah said in the group chat, I'm too soft, remember? Guess she was wrong. Norman raised his wine glass. To karma. To boundaries, Jolie added. To finally standing up for yourself, Chandler finished. I looked around my modest living room. No designer furniture, no Instagram-worthy decor. Just comfortable, practical pieces that made me happy. On the TV, the news showed Zariah's old Instagram posts side by side with security footage of Mum doctoring financial documents. "You know what's funny?" I said. "They really thought appearances were everything. The perfect family, the social media fame, the designer lifestyle." "And now," Norman asked, "now they have nothing, because it was all built on lies." My phone buzzed one last time. An email from Summer. "Hey, so, I know we're not friends anymore, but I wanted to say I'm sorry. I should have told you what they were planning. Zariah wasn't the friend I thought she was." Jolie topped off my wine. "You going to respond?" "No need." I silenced my phone. I'm done explaining myself to any of them. We ate dinner, sitting on my new floor cushions, laughing at Chandler's terrible jokes and listening to Jolie's courtroom stories. Norman shared more family secrets, each one confirming I'd made the right choice. Later, after everyone left, I stood at my window looking out at the city lights. My city. My view. My life. The TV still played softly in the background. In local news, the Hopkins family fraud case has sparked a broader investigation into social media-related financial crimes. I turned it off. Their story wasn't mine anymore. On my coffee table sat Norman's birthday card. $500. A small fraction of what they'd stolen, but it meant something different. It meant someone in my family had seen the truth all along. My new neighbours. Wind chimes tinkled softly outside. In my kitchen, my own dishes waited to be unpacked. On my walls, space waited for photos of new memories. Better memories. They never expected me to fight back. They never expected me to win. But karma arrives, and sometimes she wears courtroom heels,